And they are calling because they can't get through to CRA. They can't get a passport. They can't get through to the immigration office. Those folks that are going to their MPs across this country because the Canadian government is not doing the job that they're supposed to do. And then Mr. Carney tells Canadians that there's going to be more cuts and it's going to get worse and it's going to get harder on Canadians. Well, they can't afford groceries. Well, they can't afford housing. Well, we have deep, infrastructure deficits in our cities. I mean, we're going to need to see a budget that recognizes that right now Canadians are struggling, and it's not time for Canadians to tighten their belt.
Oh, yeah.
Gang, what's up? Aaron, Canadian Looney. Get your Canadian federal politics right here. Like, share, and subscribe. We're bringing another CBC piece with David Cochrane on power and politics. He's a hack journalist, an embarrassment to Newfoundland, an embarrassment to his family, a shame on Canada, a component of the CBC liberal propaganda machine. He's disgusting. He's going to be interviewing Heather McPherson, who is a nutjob NDP MP from Alberta. She's bidding for the leadership of the NDP party, and she's here going to bark, I think it's just talk, saying that she is leaning towards not supporting Carney's budget. But we've heard that kind of nonsense before from Jagmeet Singh many times. Let's take a look and a listen. David Cochrane is facing more resistance from Heather McPherson than he would have expected. Nevertheless, he tries to pressure her in to supporting Carney's budget. He hasn't seen the budget yet. I guess this guy doesn't pay taxes either, just like Mark Carney. Let's take a look and a listen. This should be interesting. Heather McPherson shoots off, but I think it's just all bark, no bite. Let's take a peek.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
MPs. Heather McPherson is an Alberta NDP MP. She's also running to be NDP leader, and she joins me now. Heather McPherson, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Don Davies, the interim leader, says he wants to wait and see what's in the budget before he makes a decision. Is that the position of your caucus? Because there's some suggestion that maybe some people have already decided they're voting no.
So Don obviously speaks for the caucus, and I am here obviously as a leadership candidate. Listen, we're going to wait and see what's in this budget, but everything we've heard from Mark Carney makes me think this is going to be a really hard budget for the New Democrats to support. I mean, he's talking about cuts to services that Canadians depend upon. He's talking about things that will put people in a more precarious position. He's telling Canadians they're going to have to tighten their belt, but Canadians are already doing that, right. And Canadians are deeply concerned about their jobs. We saw 3,000 jobs flee Canada with Stellantis. Just today, we know that there's going to be about 120 steel workers that are going to lose their jobs, and they're going to be moved to India tomorrow if the government doesn't take immediate steps. This Prime Minister, he can make a choice. This is his decision to decide whether or not he wants an election. Mark Carney will decide if he wants an election. If he doesn't want an election, he better put things in that budget that New Democrats can support. And that means there can't be cuts to the public services. There can't be cuts to those things that Canadians depend upon.
So which public services? Because here's what I'm trying to assess. We hear from New Democrats and that some people in caucus want to vote against this. Some people want to sit it out. They don't want to go to an election. You're obviously in this leadership race. There's a belief that the country does not want an election. And unless it's a radical departure filled with poison pills, find a way to let this budget pass. I mean, is that a fair assessment of the thinking, or is it really quite possible that you're also tired of being the party that's branded as letting the Liberals off the hook because of the confidence and supply agreement?
Listen, let me tell you. I'll say it one more time. This is up to the Prime Minister.
Sure.
If he is governing, it is his job to work with the parties and find a way to get his budget passed, if that's what he wants to do. But if he's tired of being the Prime Minister and wants to go back to Canadians...
I don't think he is, but yes.
That's his choice to make.
Okay,
you can't put that on the shoulders of the parties if he has not done the work of making sure that he has those votes. That's his job. That's his cabinet's job to do, and he's not doing it. So if we get this budget on November 4th, and we see investments in jobs, if we see investments in, if those big nation building projects across this country are in fact going to get Canadian workers working, are going to be built with Canadian materials, then there's a much better chance of him getting that budget passed than if he comes in with an austerity budget, because an austerity budget just means cutting services that Canadians depend upon. And New Democrats can't support that. We don't believe in that.
So the promise has been, while they do say there is going to be the cost efficiency review or whatever the exact wording is, there will be some cuts over the next 3 years or reallocations, or they say the job losses will be mostly done through attrition. We'll see. But they have promised to protect transfers to individuals and transfers to provinces, and the social programs that were largely grown out of your supply and confidence agreement with the Trudeau government will not be touched. Is that enough? If they live up to those promises, is that enough, or is there more?
David, I'm thinking about these folks that are calling my constituency office, and they are calling because they can't get through to CRA. They can't get a passport. They can't get through to the immigration office. Those folks that are going to their MPs across this country because the Canadian government is not doing the job that they're supposed to do, and then Mr. Carney tells Canadians that there's going to be more cuts, and it's going to get worse, and it's going to get harder on Canadians. Well, they can't afford groceries. Well, they can't afford housing. Well, we have deep, infrastructure deficits in our cities. I mean, we're going to need to see a budget that recognizes that right now Canadians are struggling, and it's not time for Canadians to tighten their belt. It's time for this government to invest in Canadians so that Canadian jobs are protected, so that Canadian workers know that they'll be able to pay their bills, they'll be able to buy groceries. That's what we need to see from this budget.
But when you say no cuts to public services, does that mean no reductions in public servants, or does that just mean no cuts in services to Canadians? Because there's lots of ways you can do this in a budget, right?
Well, we'll see what Mr. Carney decides to do. But frankly, for me, I look at the services provided by those folks, and I look at the jobs that those folks depend upon, and I'm deeply worried that Mr. Carney doesn't quite understand how important that is to Canadians.
On the parliamentary conversations we heard JP Tasker and Kate McKenna talking about, are you aware of any back and forth conversations between the New Democrats and the Conservatives about how to manage this thing to avoid triggering an election if it's required?
I am not.
You're not?
No.
Okay. So when you talk about Mr. Davies, who's on saying he want to do a wait and see speaking for the caucus, do you have a sense that the caucus is fully unified on what they want to see in this budget, and that they will vote as a group of 7 no matter what?
I mean, one thing I will say is that I find it odd that both the Bloc and the Conservatives have said that they would vote against a budget they haven't seen. We are going to take the time to look at what's in this budget, to see what's there. From everything Mr. Carney has said so far, I'm finding it extraordinarily difficult to think the New Democrats will be able to support this budget. But that said, we are going to take a look at it. We are going to see what's there. I know I'm going to be meeting with my colleagues, with my caucus colleagues, and we're going to be talking about it on November 4th. We'll look at what's there. We'll look at what the Liberals are putting forward. Listen, we want to work with the government. We want to get help for Canadians. Canadians need support right now. We want to get that support for them. But like I said at the beginning, if Mark Carney wants an election, Mark Carney will get an election. This is in his hands. This is up to him.
So your bottom line on the austerity point, just as a final question here, Ms. McPherson, the Prime Minister did use the word austerity, but then he also gave those caveats that I mentioned, right, about transfers. I mean, what would austerity look like, I guess is my question, because he used that phrase, but then the reassurances sort of walked away from it. And it wasn't clear to me at this point, and we will find out November 4th exactly what it means.
And how reassured do you think most Canadians were when he started off with, we're going to cut stuff that you depend on, but don't worry, we're not going to cut stuff, but we are going to cut stuff. But tighten your belt, but don't worry.
Right, but I don't
think that's very reassuring from the Prime Minister.
What is your definition of what true austerity would look like in a budget? That would just be, on principle, a bridge too far for the New Democrats.
Honestly,
I mean,
if there are things in there that are hurting Canadians, that's going to be a problem for us. It's going to be a big problem for us.
Okay, Heather McPherson, we're going to talk probably November 4th or the days after. Thanks so much. That's NDP MP Heather McPherson. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, gang, I just want the viewers to know that I don't enjoy watching CBC News or David Cochrane or Rosie or any of the clowns behind that liberal propaganda machine. But once you see it, and it's called propaganda, it's easier to see that it's not news or journalism or reporting. It's propaganda that pushes forward the liberal agenda, which is doing nothing for regular Canadians like you and I. It's a disaster. Let me know in the comments what you think about CBC and David Cochrane, Caillou. Like, what a loser and hack What a sellout. Imagine selling out your people from Newfoundland to do this. Doesn't make sense. I hope you did enjoy watching the video. Come back, watch another one. We've got other videos floating around here. This is Aaron, Canadian Looney. Like, share, subscribe. I am asking for your subscription. I've only got about 40% of my regular viewers that are subscribed. Help a brother out. I work hard at this. That's it. Thank you so much for watching the video. Click on one of the other ones floating around this place. See what you might learn about Canadian federal politics. Most of my viewers, or people that watch my channel, are pretty informed already, but that's why I need your subscription, because this stuff is not promoted on this platform whatsoever. That's all right. That's okay, but I could use the help in your subscription. We'll catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching this one. Let me know in the comments what you think about the hack CBC fake journalist David Cochrane and the rest of the CBC crew. It's such a deceptive thing they're doing to Canadians. It's not even fair. Catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching. We're out.
God damn it, that's not news! What about us?
Look inside yourself, Rosemary.
It's time for a change in this country, my friends. A real change!
Now I have a question. Who's ready?
How many kids did you molest with Jeffrey Epstein?
More than just elbows.
Wow!
I am a European, actually. Oh, you are?
Oh.
Irish citizen, yeah.
These are Muslim values.
A real change!
These are Canadian values.
Wow!
Speaking as a European, I love.
Happy birthday! A few days short. A little bit. A few days short, but didn't have a chance to see you on the day.
Reticent to
because
talk
I'm
about
a good
that.
because I'm a good negotiator. I have negotiated a number of situations in the past. I know how to manage crises.
This is the most consequential vote of our lifetimes.
A real change!
These are Canadian values. Because President Trump has ignited a trade war that is ruptured. No, we don't like Trump here.
All right, elbows up.
Elbows up.
Happy birthday!
Being aware of what potential conflicts of interest you
What
sought
possible
to avoid.
conflict would you have, Stephanie? Stephanie, I'm complying with the rules. I'm complying with the rules in advance. Point final. Look inside yourself, Rosemary.